You ever feel totally overwhelmed by choice? Well, today we're going to dive into the paradox of modern dating. We're going to look at the surprising psychology that explains why having more options can actually make finding someone feel, well, impossible.
I mean, it really gets to the heart of it, right? You open an app, you see literally hundreds of faces, and yet you feel completely paralyzed. It doesn't make sense. So what is really going on here?
So this feeling, it was captured perfectly by a user on Reddit, and let me tell you, it is not just in your head. This is a real, well-documented psychological thing called the paradox of choice, and it completely changes the game when it comes to how we look for a partner.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this paradox, we first need to look at how we actually make decisions. It turns out most of us fall into one of two camps, and you probably do too without even realizing it. All right, first up, we've got the maximizer. This is the person who is on a quest for the absolute best. They're the ones who will research every single car, compare every TV, and when it comes to dating, oh yeah, they're swiping through every single profile because they're absolutely convinced that the perfect match is just waiting to be found. And then on the complete other side of the spectrum, you've got the satisficer. Now this person isn't looking for perfection. Nope, they're looking for something that's good enough. They have their core standards for sure, and once they find someone who meets them, they're happy to stop searching and actually invest their time and energy. For the maximizer, that hunt for the absolute best leads to this exhaustive, endless search, which, yeah, often ends in regret. But the satisficer, they find contentment way more easily just by looking for good enough. But here's where it gets kind of complicated. You'd think being a satisficer is the clear winner, right? Well, a 2006 study on college grads found that the maximizers, they actually got jobs with starting salaries that were on average 20% higher.
But, and this is the absolute core of the maximization paradox, they were less satisfied with those jobs. I mean, think about that. Even when they get a better outcome on paper, like a higher salary, maximizers often feel worse about it. That little voice in their head, the one always worrying that something better is out there, it just completely kills their happiness.
But it turns out being a maximizer isn't just a one-way ticket to misery. It's not that simple. When you dig into the science, it seems it can actually lead you down two very, very different psychological paths.
Yeah, so there was this really fascinating study in 2018 that dug way deeper into this. And what they found was that the whole maximizing mindset can lead to either happiness or unhappiness. It all depends on which internal path gets switched on. So the first path is pretty much what we'd expect. It's the regret route. The hunt for the best makes you constantly compare yourself to others, which leads to regretting your final choice. And, you guessed it, lower happiness. This is totally the dater who's always wondering if that last person they swiped left on was, the one.
But here is the big twist. That exact same drive for the best can also flip on an ambition route. It can fuel this powerful hope for success and seriously boost a person's motivation. So in dating, this is the person who feels energized and hopeful that an amazing connection is right around the corner. It actually drives them forward.
So the big takeaway here is that being a maximizer is a total double-edged sword. The very same tendency can push one person toward ambitious goals and another toward just paralyzing regret. It really all depends on which of those two paths ends up taking over. Okay, so let's bring all this theory back down to earth, back to the real world of dating. How does this actually play out when you're, swiping through hundreds of profiles on a random Tuesday night? I mean, this quote from a Reddit user just perfectly captures that regret route in action. It is that nagging feeling that the ideal person was just one more swipe away. And that feeling can make you totally devalue the real, actual, good enough person who's right there in front of you. And this mindset, it leads to some super common traps. You hear daters talk about it all the time. Getting the ick over some tiny little flaw, or chasing this elusive spark that honestly rarely exists. And of course, just feeling completely burned out. That constant what-if question, it just makes it so incredibly hard to commit. And this is what the experts point to. The sheer volume of choice is the core problem. It creates this classic quality versus quantity dilemma, right? It can make potential partners feel disposable. It sends this constant message that someone better is always just around the corner. Okay, so if you're listening to this and feeling kind of trapped in this cycle, what can you actually
do about it. Let's talk about some real, practical strategies to shift from that maximizing mindset to a more mindful and hopefully more successful approach to dating.
So these tips come from daters who've actually been through it, and they're all about adopting more of a satisficer mindset. Really, it's about fighting that urge to find perfection. Instead of looking for reasons to say no, you start looking for reasons to say yes. It's about remembering you're not perfect either, giving a maybe a second chance, and just asking yourself one simple question at the end of a date. Did I actually enjoy my time with them?
And here's a really cool framework to structure your search, also shared by a Reddit user. It's called the 3-3-10 rule. And this is all about getting clear on what actually matters. By forcing yourself to define your absolute must-haves and your hard deal breakers, you create a powerful filter. This stops that endless list of nice-to-haves from distracting you, and from making you dismiss someone who could be a fantastic match just because they don't love the same niche hobby you do.
So, when you boil it all down, what all this research and real-world experience tells us is this: the path to a happy relationship isn't about endlessly swiping to find the one single best option out of millions. It's about shifting your focus. It's about building a quality connection with someone who is, good enough.
And so that leaves us with one last, really crucial question to think about. What's the real goal here? Is it to find a flawless, pre-made, perfect person? Or is it to find someone you can build something great with, imperfections and all? Because, the answer to that question, it might just change everything.